That's crazy.
Yeah. Where's the double deuce?
He's on his way. He's coming on through. So, guys, appreciate y'all. About to start this bad boy up. Vroom, vroom. Yeah. What's going on? Gray Pill Podcast. I appreciate everybody for coming on through. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're just walking in the door, again, welcome. Hit that notification button. Hit the likes, because we appreciate it. We're going to earn everything that we put our effort to. All right. So we're going to give a special warm guest that they'll show their faces because everybody's in iconics and little avatars. I know they want to, I might want to see my ugly face, minus one guy, because we're going to respect him with his privacy. So we're gonna give a little special shout out to everybody here. Hey, what's going on, Marcus? What's going on to you?
How you doing, sir? How you doing?
Right.
Thank you for having me.
All right, appreciate it, man. Anytime. Mandrell, are you there, sir? Breaker 1-2, Breaker 1-2. All right, shout out to you, Mandrell.
I am here. Shout out.
Appreciate you, Tommy B. What it do?
Go Navy.
Yo, you home, man? Sound like you like little kitchen. Everything.
Nah, I'm in the truck. I got probably about an hour to go to get to the crib. I got stuck in traffic out here in the Bay.
Okay, all right, man. I definitely appreciate you taking the time out, man, to jump on through, bro.
I appreciate you having the show, man.
All right. If you get like anything going on as far as like audio, whatever, just when you mute, whatever, we'll give you that time to respond. So we don't want to make sure you don't be too distracted on the road.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm a pro out here. I'm good.
All right. Hey, so we're gonna have a great show with y'all for y'all today. Unfortunately, we had one gentleman is on his way, so we'll see if he chimes on in a little bit. Hopefully, he know how to read his emails and that good stuff. So all the links and stuff is there. Want to give a special shout out to Primal Studies. He's feeling a little bit under weather. He took a booster shot or some extra baby aspirins. You know what I'm saying? And he's feeling a little bit under weather, so he'd rather support us in the chat. And I appreciate that. So I appreciate him taking the time out for doing that. And just in case, so I don't want to, we got a special one for you, Primal, because I was thinking about you, buddy. So next time you get them aches and them chills and you got the, here you go. This for you, buddy.
Hear the music.
Put your mask on. Put your mask on. Put your mask on. Put your mask on. Put your mask on.
All right, that's for you, bro.
Hey, you shouldn't have stopped that. Yeah, that shit be bumping, doesn't it, Tommy? That shit bumps, man. I mean, for real.
It do. It definitely do. Hey, shout out to our Marquise. You can check him on his YouTube channel. He has pretty much a remix of every little clip that he come across. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. Shout out to Abram Preach for actually having him take the time out to do that too. So it's something like I will literally in my car just download and have it on my end all the time. So yeah. So shout out to him. So he says this dang booster. I can't record it. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Shout out to Candid Ann. Appreciate you for coming on through. That's Tommy B. What's going on? Let me scroll a little bit. Definitely shout out to Black Man Unfiltered. Appreciate you, man. Always support back and forth. And shout out to Miss Elizabeth Davis. I definitely appreciate her coming through. She's been a very consistent subscriber all the time. So I definitely appreciate her thoughts and inputs every time. So definitely appreciate that. That's what we need in them YouTube streets. We work for us. I work for my subscribers. We definitely work for our subscribers. Hey, that's my motto right now. I work for my subs.
Be humble.
Yeah,
Be humble. Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. If it wasn't for you, there would be no me. So thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm gonna start this off real quick. I'm gonna give Tommy B time to chime in and have a little conversation. So do a little interview. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the topic here pretty much have, whether it's military, Navy, Army, guys is either retired or active. So let's be respectful of, I don't mind you asking questions or the questions I ask. And I pretty much want to have like an all panelist of military veteran guys up here, even ladies. If you got some ladies in the chat that you have a husband or you on the other end of the fence where you actually support your husband, your spouse, whatever, you're more than welcome to chime in some questions or concerns or just some extra natural feedback that we don't normally hear every day. And I'm not going to pressure nobody to answer questions that they don't feel comfortable with because, sometimes most people have these certain jobs outside the field or inside the field. So they don't want to give too much information. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to burden them with that. But we are going to have a great discussion. So I start off with you, Tommy B, if you want to, bring up a little bit what your background was or what you did or didn't do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can ask me anything. I ain't really got too much to hide. But I joined the military. I was in Oakland. That's where I'm from. And I was getting in all a little trouble and stuff. And interesting reason why I joined. So I don't have really like too many family members, and that's one thing with the military is it's a lot of legacy in there. For me, I ain't have no legacy in there. It's gonna be a funny story. I used to smoke weed every day, every single day, and I wanted to get a new job, so I stopped smoking. And when I stopped smoking that day, I couldn't go to sleep that night. And so literally, and mind you, I'm couch surfing right now. I'm essentially homeless.
Yeah,
I'm either living out of my car or I'm living on people's couches. And I'm 20. And so the day I stopped smoking, I couldn't go to sleep. And it was literally a Navy infomercial on. And I literally watched it on repeat all night. Just bored out of my mind because there wasn't shit else on TV, and the person's house I was at didn't have cable and shit.
Oh,
So
wow.
in the morning time, I hit my pops up because I always run everything by my pops. And I'm like, yo, what you think about me joining the military? Because I had some shit happen, man, that kind of fucked me up. So I remember specifically an incident where my mom was in a situation, they was asking everybody what their kids was doing. And like, my moms couldn't really answer it because, I was fucking up. And that kind of fucked with me because, it's like, that you don't ever want to disappoint your parents or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up in a situation or whatever. And I was like, I basically kind of reached, I would say like almost anybody, like if you fuck around in the streets, you're going to end up in a scenario where you're going to have to make a choice, and you either go get, knee deep in some shit, or you're going to get the fuck out. And for me, I just decided to get the fuck out. So normally, I don't know how long it took you guys to get to boot camp, but for me, I literally remember the dates. I literally went to the recruiter on June 1st, and I was out of there June 30th. They gave me 2 dates to leave. It was either June 30th, or it was like December. And boot camp for the Navy is in Chicago, so that was out. So my mom was pissed because by the time they gave me that, I was 2 weeks in, so that was around like the 14th or the 15th of June. So essentially, I gave my mom 2 weeks notice that her oldest son was getting the fuck out of there. So she was happy because I was getting out the way, but at the same time, she was mad because I gave her 2 weeks notice and I was out, I was gone. And I had never really been outside of California. We go back and forth to Nevada, but we don't really count that.
Yeah.
Outside of that, though, I had never been outside of California, had never been on an airplane, none of that shit. So all of this shit was like first to me. Went to boot camp, hopped off the plane, and literally in the airport, they start yelling at you. And for me, dead ass, the shit was fucking hilarious. So a common theme with me in boot camp was cracking up when people got yelled at, because the shit that they say is so fucking funny. Like for me, I'm a goofy nigga anyway, so like for me, I'm cracking up, like, and then I end up getting in trouble, but like I give you some of the good shit they would say was, "Are you eye fucking me?"
Oh.
Like, come on, bro. I'm dying laughing. Like, what are we talking about here? Mind you, too, I grew up in a house where, like, my dad yelled at me pretty much 75, 80% of my childhood. So being yelled at wasn't shit for me. I'm literally watching grown-ass men cry because they're being yelled at. So that's another thing that I'm laughing at. Cracking the fuck up. I don't know how deep you want me to go into it.
I mean, I'll give everybody a chance to chime in. We keep it going, but
Okay.
well, when you said 2 weeks notice, you know, it was like, well, just 2 weeks notice you leaving, or 2 weeks notice like you help your mom with rent or something like that.
No. It was 2 weeks notice of me leaving. So my initial contact with the recruiter was June 1st. I went there. My only two options were going to be Navy or Air Force. And that's because I knew that the Marines and the Army went over there and got busy. And I was leaving Oakland. I was already ducking bullets. I wasn't about to leave ducking bullets to go duck more bullets. So for me, I knew I had a better chance of not even fucking with none of that shit over there if I went to the Navy or the Air Force. Mind you, this is showing you how ignorant I am of the military. I had no idea the Air Force had their own ground unit. No idea. So another thing I didn't know too is the Navy actually has a bigger Air Force than the Air Force. Like the Navy has the biggest air department in the military, not the Air Force.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I initially go to the Air Force recruiter, and he's a fucking prick. Like literally want to slap the shit out of him when I left the office. Like just basically like, you know, we don't give a fuck if you join or not. You know, if you do, cool. If you knew not, I'm like, fuck you. Like pretty much it's damn near what I left out of there with. Yeah. So when I left out, it was this big ass black dude for the Navy. He's like, where you going? I'm like, shit, I'm about to go to the crib. He's like, oh, you joining up Air Force? I said, hell no, dude in there, little bitch. And he started cracking up. He's like, you ever thought about the Navy? I said, yeah, that was my second option. I was probably gonna see y'all tomorrow. He's like, well shit, come on in now. Man, when I tell y'all, I remember dudes from Louisiana cooling the other side of the pillow. Bro was like solid. He telling me all the fun they have. He telling me about how, yeah, when we go overseas to party. They go overseas to work and fight. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you right up my alley. Like, we talking about something. And then he started telling me about, like, how much better their duty stations is than a lot of the other branches. Like, you know, Air Force got some pretty shitty duty stations. Army will have you in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And the Marines kind of, they follow the Navy, so theirs is kind of better. But again, the Marines wasn't even a choice of mine. So my goal was to get to San Diego. So I'm like, cool. I came back 2 weeks later. We go to a place called MEPS. MEPS is where you do all of your paperwork. You do drug tests. I failed my drug test like 4 times. My recruiter actually gave me a shake to pass the drug test. Hilarious. And I ended up passing.
That's a cool guy.
Yeah, cool. Listen to me. When I tell you the Navy recruiters was cool as fuck, cool as like, I'm talking like literally they had me so like just cool as hell. So I ended up going to MEPS 2 weeks later, and then doing all the paperwork and stuff, and then that's when they told me, it was like, well, which was 2 weeks, or you can leave in December. And again, I'm not going to Chicago in December. Fuck no. And luckily I didn't, because I heard some of the horror stories from.
It's getting a little bit choppy.
Yeah, man, he's not playing about MEPS though, man. MEPS is the most boring place processing ever.
Of all time.
Listen, I'm telling you.
Hey, Tommy, hold on. We're gonna give you a minute, bro, because you're getting like kind of choppy. We give you a minute to find out some stronger signal while you are riding, bro. What's your story like? Hey, Tom, we're gonna give you a little minute, bro, so you can get your little signal back in. Medra, what's your story with your or your end? You know, getting joined up. Is it anything similar to his or totally different?
Well, my experience with the Air Force recruiter was they pretty much the exact same.
Oh, you was Air Force also?
No, I was not Air Force.
Okay.
No, I went into the Air Force recruiter station first.
Okay.
My experience with the Air Force recruiter was the same exact as Tommy's. The guy was just an absolute prick, a world-class turd. He just did not care, nonchalant. Whatever. I'm gonna listen. Either you're gonna sign up or I'm not gonna waste any time with you. Waste time with me,
bro. The exact same thing.
Right. I'm like Tommy. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? You know, I had the same attitude Tommy did when I walked out the Air Force recruiting station, and you know, all the recruiting stations right there in the same little building.
And mind you,
What would you say, Tommy?
so the Air Force, they it's the highest ASVAB score to get into the Air Force. I believe second is Navy, third is Army.
Third is Army, fourth is Marines.
Yeah.
Hey Tommy, go ahead. We're gonna put you on mute real quick. So we're gonna give Mandrell the spotlight real quick. So how did you start out with your experience in boot camp and all that, Mandrell?
Well, I joined the Army because this is how they hooked me in. Okay, the Air Force recruiter, he you know, he pretty much blew that, right? So after that, I was like, I'm not joining the Air Force. Forget that. It's full of pricks. So I get into the Army recruiting station, and they was like, so because they looked at my ASVAB scores from high school, because in high school you had to take the ASVAB, right?
Okay.
Here in Alabama. So I took it and I scored pretty high. Going to college, you know, you get out of college, you got student loan debt. So they're like, okay, you can go to OCS depending on what your ASVAB score is. I said, okay, cool, straight as an officer. They're like, oh, you know about that? I said, yeah. And then they said, hey, you got student loans? I said, yeah, we'll pay them off for you. I said, well, where do I sign, Sergeant? You know what I'm saying? See, at the time, it was 2002, so war was hot. You know what I mean? They trying to get people in. It's like, listen, you can sign up for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. You know what I'm saying? They're going through all that. And I'm like, hey, listen, which one do I have to sign to get the student loans paid off? You have to do at least 3 years. I said, let's go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? So once you said the student loans, I was hooked, period. I had to enlist, right? I couldn't go in. So my plan was, okay, I can enlist now, and I can just, once my enlistment is up, I can just switch to go to OCS and be an officer, right?
Now, what is OCS?
Officer Candidate School.
Okay.
That's what OCS stands for.
Okay.
To go in as an officer, you know. I said, no big deal, no sweat. And then I have no debt, right? So I get in there, and boot camp, just like Tommy, I thought that I was going to get in trouble for laughing. I mean, the second, for us, it was a van, right? They drove us from Montgomery, Alabama to South Carolina to do boot camp.
Okay.
And we had a good time on the ride
How
there.
long did your boot camp last?
Boot camp was, 3 months, I think?
Okay.
Yeah, boot camp's 3 months, 3.5, something like that.
Yeah,
3 or 3.5 months. Yeah, they bust us there. So we got there, and then we had a good time on the way there. We got there, like he said, immediately. And it's late. It's like 10:30 at night when we get there. These jokers, and I'm sitting there like, what the? Why are you yelling? Right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there trying my best not to laugh. They get it one girl because she didn't have a tie for her to tie her hair into a knot. So this poor girl trying to twist her hair, and she's twisting it up, and I'm just like, and she twisted it into a knot. And I was like, oh, she didn't catch hell trying to get that out later. I mean, they in our face, and like, there's, like Tommy said, like in basic training, there's this one kid who it got to him, the stress, and he starts crying. He's on his knees crying. And so the drill sergeant says, I'm fucking fed up with you. I do not have time for your bullshit, and neither does God. He's sitting there crying and praying. He said, I do not have time for you and your bullshit, and neither does God. God hates you. You understand that? God hates you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Bruh.
How can you not laugh, bro?
Right. I had to hide behind people to keep them from seeing me from laughing. It's just, because I'm 5'8", so I'm a short guy anyway. So I saw walk right behind like two tall dudes. I just bust out, man. I'm sitting there like, God damn.
See, what's funny to me, because the stories you two guys tell on the boot camp level, I hear the opposite of that, because I remember this one guy was in the Army. He said he didn't say his part of what he was doing, but he would tell like how other people, the moment before they get off the bus and they saw all that rah 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 rah, they were just screaming and crying and carrying on. They didn't want to get off the bus.
That sounds like Marine Corps boot camp.
It didn't bother me. Yeah, the screaming and yelling didn't bother me. My parents yelled at me all the time. You know, if I did something wrong, they yell. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, there's no sweat off my back. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so what? This is light work. Yeah. You know, but the crazy stuff they say, just like Tommy said, you can't help but laugh. You can't help it. I thought I was going to get in so much trouble for it, but I didn't. Never got in trouble for laughing.
Hey, Marcus. So did you had the same experience as these guys, a little bit differently?
I had it worse.
Were you
No,
in
no,
Paris,
not,
Tommy? Were you in Paris, Tommy?
no, I was on West Coast, but when I say I had it like a little different, not worse, but maybe different, was in the West Coast in the Marine Corps boot camp. We go to Marine Corps Recruit Depot in San Diego. Do you guys want to hear that part? You guys want to hear leading up to me signing up first? Would you rather prefer hearing that?
You can bring it up.
I was in multiple stations, but I'll start off with what led up to me enlisting. So it was junior year of high school, right? And at that time, I remember I talked to Grey Pill about this, and maybe Bandrill, and then Tommy, what happened to her medically. My parents were in the middle of separation. I was kind of like in the middle of finding myself, not even graduating yet. I still had I had a job in high school in the hotel. But I seen the recruiters show up, Marine Corps recruiters. They're looking all nice, in the uniforms. They had the pull-up bar, the pull-up challenge. Need I remind you, I could not do one pull-up back then. But for some reason, I could do like the bench press and stuff, but I struggled at pull-ups because it's all about body weight, Yeah. And that's when I realized that was two things. I got to do some more push-ups and damn pull-ups. But then the other thing was, all right, I'm going to keep it in the back end. So senior year passes by. And, I'm still doing my thing. They show up again. I still got their pamphlet somewhere in my room. And then they pop up, something like a sign of God or something. That's how I took it. And then I talk to them. They exchange information. They show up to my house. He pops up out of nowhere. He's like, oh, man, we were just going to go out with some of the recruiters and some of the people that were some of the kids that wanted to enlist. And I was like, oh, man, sorry, man. I got chores to do and I got some other stuff to do with my parents, so I can't go out. But I appreciate it. So he schedules to show up later and talk about when he wanted to sign up. And I said, sure. My parents, if it's cool with my parents, they'll have you. I'm down to listen. And my brother shows up. And the day that we meet up, my brother's there. My brother's in the back, behind the back of the living room, just saying, don't do it, bro. Don't sign up. Don't listen to them. The recruiter's just laughing because his back is facing him. And they say, don't even listen to him. It's a bunch of BS. And it's like, oh, he's just giving you a hard time. That's my brother. He's just capping. He's just being a jokester. And my dad was kind of hesitant a little bit because he's like, I just don't want you going over there, because you're my son. You can do something else, but just don't go there. My mom was kind of 50-50. She's like, I'll be proud of you, but I'm also nervous for you,
Yeah.
And it's understandable, because it's like I'm there. I'm my dad's only son. Well, was only son, and then, my little sister.
Well, did you feel nervous during your bus ride or whatever on your way to boot camp? And did you have that kind of I'm just gonna just get it done type deal when you got to boot camp?
The last image I got when I left from the recruiting station was my mother crying. My mother was just in tears. Because my father didn't go. He stayed back home, but he still gave me a hug and we talked a little bit. And okay. I just made some arrangements in my bank accounts. I gave my savings. I didn't have it in my savings. I just gave it to my mom and stuff. I didn't even leave it for me. And said, whatever you guys got to do, just use it. And then. Yeah, and then I just didn't want to focus on anything, even the girlfriend I had at the time, we kind of just grew distance, so we just focused on boot camp, right?
Yeah.
And, I got there, I was a little nervous, but more anxious, and I just didn't know. I didn't know. What's up?
No, I was going to say that kind of chimes me in another question because I hear this a lot when it comes to relationships and in the service. 90% of people just say, don't do it because of the stigma of, excuse my language, just piss poor relationships. So just for y'all guys, if y'all had a relationship at that time, did y'all just say, I'd rather just be single going in? Or you just say, I don't mind having a girlfriend. And if you did, was it like that? Was it stressful trying to keep a relationship as you're in, serving our country?
For me, it was just simple to just cut it off in the beginning, but then later down the line, I kind of wanted that companionship. In the middle.
Did she try keeping in touch with you?
She, so here's the thing, right? I met up with her a couple years after. already being in. And then when I was stationed in 29 Palms, close to, I would commute to home. And I ran into her at Starbucks. Next thing you know, we're making out in the back of her car that same day. But, it just, it wasn't the same. Obviously, there was a little bit of a, how do I say, unleft, unclosed. What's that called, Angeles? Kind of like closure?
Closure, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say residuals, but clearly you made out the back of the car, so the residuals is done.
Yeah, but other than that, it wasn't the same. So I kind of gave her space. She gave me my space, and then we understood. We didn't do anything after that, and then I just moved on, and we just went on our separate ways, and it was cool.
Okay, I can respect that. What about you, Mandrell, Tommy?
I was slanging ding-a-lang. I ain't gonna lie to you. Listen to me. I was whoring. I wasn't hoeing. I was whoring. I was all over the place.
All right,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
I ain't mad.
I know who I am. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Keep being you. That's all I can say. Keep being you. What about you, Mandrell? What's going on your end?
I was single when I went in. I had a girlfriend, and we had just broke up. You know what I mean? Because she didn't want to act right. So, yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, all right, done with that.
Because you pretty much in the same state. So, and I know like it's weird because when you're out in the city, we have that expression, small world. But if you're like in just Georgia, certain parts of just Alabama, the world's even smaller. So when you got out and you came back home, did you ever come across her? Or did she ever see you? Did she ever like see you? Like,
yeah, we saw each other again, and we started dating again, which was a mistake.
Yeah,
and broke that off, and I was like, "Yep, never doing this again."
Oh, yeah. Did she have like a different opinion of you from going in than coming back? Like like more attracted to you? Like, okay, this is a military guy doing this thing type deal, or she just
no? She was when I came back out and we started up again. She was like. She was on the tip where, okay, I'm going to do my thing, you do your thing. I'm like, what's the point of being in a relationship? Then I'm not going to be in a relationship.
Okay.
If that's what we're going to do, you know what I'm saying? So
that's cool. You like the original good guys, because most guys want to say that. Most guys are like, you know what? All right, we'll still do our thing until I find something else. You know what I'm saying? Most women do that too. So
I'm like, no, that's the point of being in a relationship then. If that's what we're going to do, I mean, no. So it's like, let's just call it what it is. Can we be friends? Nah.
Oh Lord.
Well, at least you're honest.
Can we be Facebook friends? No.
Oh,
you can't.
Oh,
you're right. To this day,
I did later on have one of the biggest fumbles of my life, bro. Like my older cousin teases me to this day. I had a homegirl, and when I came back on leave, me and her was hanging out or whatever. We had went to this bar or whatever. And so I went to our house. Now, mind you, we just strictly platonic. Never been more than that. And so we chilling and shit. So then we go to sleep. I can't believe I'm even giving y'all this. Biggest L of my life, bro. Hopped in the bed. She on her side. I'm on my side. She in lingerie and everything. I'm like a negligee or something like that. Man, I went to sleep.
Hey.
And it was because I was nervous because I didn't want to fuck up the friendship by like making a move and I interpreted it the wrong way. And then it fucks off the friendship.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my dumb ass is like, yeah, I'm a chill. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This is how shitty I am. I'm waiting for her to get divorced right now so I get my lick back. Fuck that. I need that.
You know what? I'm glad you said that.
The moment the papers is filed, I'm in the inbox.
I'm glad you said that, Tom, because we just had a show for the guys segment. Next week's gonna be Tuesday. So if anybody just the guys, if y'all have questions, bring them on to me after the show, and I'll bring them up to the ladies for next week for Tuesday, right? So on our end, one of the questions was a lady from the last week. She asked like, why do men cheat? So we brought that in question. And one of the ladies in the comment section asked about, can men be friends? You know what I'm saying? So on our end, we concluded that no, we can't, but we can with there's limitations. So you pretty much fit that same narrative, like, hey, I don't want to mess this up as a friend, but yet she kind of seeing that attraction for me. So you just mentally you checked out. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm hearing from you. But as a guy, you're like, hey, I still need to get that win back. So you try to shoot your shot again.
Yeah. Like while I was in the military, I didn't see the point in having a relationship. I didn't see with what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't know a single person who wasn't divorced at minimum 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times. Because you're going so much that, I mean, what marriage or relationship can survive that? You're never home. So while I was in, I did not get into a relationship. I mean, I had a little fun here and there, but
there's a bunch of little mini ass mandrill somewhere in Colombia right now.
Bruh.
There might be a market. Colombia was crazy.
So he probably got kicked out. He'll come back in. So
he'll come back in. Yeah.
So none of y'all guys, when y'all were serving during that time, so y'all never actually got in like exclusive relationship, was just pretty much casually dating.
For the most part, I was just single, casually dating, but there was like 1 or 2 relationships while I was currently in. It was at the time when I was stationed in 29 Palms for a bit, and it was close to home. It was like about like an hour or so away from home, so I would commute.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I was fortunate for that, but 29 Palms it's kind of like the Death Valley, Texas. It's kind of like that, so depressing. And I was tired of it, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just commute. And they gave me some benefits, and they gave me like a little boost in my pay for it. And they gave me some special orders, and I was like, all right, fine. Like I'll be able to commute from home, have a relationship, have some time to hang out with some family on the weekends. It was usually just on the weekends though. And that was it. I was fine.
Did y'all ever have any like special places just like on your travels, during the years, like, hey, I remember, just like Germany or some part of Asia, whatever, just like this was a spot for me. Because I have a cousin, he served for 10 years, and I think he almost close to got full, benefits coming out, because I think he injured his foot. And he said one of the best places he liked, but no, he said he can correct me if I'm wrong. He said he didn't like it. I think he said Japan, because it was either hot or cold. It was like one or the other. There was no in between with the weather with them. So he said that was the worstest places ever for him. But in my mind, I'm like, because I see the glitz and glamours of Japan, I want to go in a little bit of the culture. So did y'all have any ideas of places y'all enjoyed?
Yeah, definitely.
Both in the States and outside the States, there were places that sucked.
Okay. So name a few.
Well, in the States, when I was stationed in the East Coast in Georgia, even though I liked the Southern hospitality, the weather and the bugs, that's what I wasn't used to. The humidity, because like over where I'm at, it's dry, like desert heat. Over there is humidity heat. And I liked it because at least when I'm running, I'm shedding weight, I'm cutting weight, like good for workout on the outside. But man, just to be able to hang out, chill out, like I can't even do that. Like I can't even sit on the picnic table. And then next thing you know, I'm just like,
hey, for the people who's not country folks out here, number one, have your rag with you. It's not just to wipe your face; it's just to fan the gnats away.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
That's what it was.
And the mosquitoes, man.
Yeah, if you do this 20 something, you just looking retarded. You look a little special.
Yeah. And he's right about the humidity down here, man. It's like it's heavy.
Yeah,
it's just like the heat has weight on you. It feels that way. You know what I'm saying? It's thick. Yeah.
And if you're not used to it, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it can be something else you're not used to it. My place
you can tell me, because I was there for like 8-9 months, and they were telling me, "Oh no, it's gonna get better." No, it didn't.
No, it did not.
I'm born in the South. When I left from Jersey to visit my grandmother one time. I remember I used to think I was a vampire, bro. Real talk. I would literally wait till the dust come down, and then I'll get out and actually start walking the streets at night.
Bro, and not gonna lie, my sergeants at the time, because I was like a lance corporal and then gonna be a corporal, and then my sergeant was like, "Hey man, you got to get some warm gear." I was like, "Why?" It's because it's gonna be snowed in. When they tell me that Georgia gets snowed in, I didn't believe it. Georgia can get snowed the F in. There was like piled up snow. We couldn't even go outside. We had to eat MREs. We were stuck in the auditorium.
You have to take a picture of that, if you have a picture, please send that to me, because as long as I've been existing, I never seen snow. I never seen snow nowhere, mostly like a good 2 inches off the ground.
Bro.
Yeah, we've had snow that's stuck on the ground and it looks snowy, but it's nothing like it is up north or in place. Yeah, Nothing like that, Angelus. Like, I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because I'm
But
like,
I was in Georgia. I don't know how far Georgia is from Alabama.
it
It's not that
depends on
far.
what part of
Yeah.
Georgia. Like for me,
Well, I was in Columbus and Atlanta, close to Atlanta.
okay, Columbus.
That's not that.
You might have. It was. Here's the thing, Angelus. About once every 8 or 9 years, there's a freak storm that comes in.
Like the one they had in Atlanta and that traffic jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in 2013, 2014.
Yeah, I remember
Right,
that
but
too.
once every 89 years, a freak cold front would come in like that, and it'll snow. But that's like once a decade. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like one day, like that day it snowed and piled up like that. The next day everything's closed down because they're waiting for the snow to melt. But after that, it's like business as usual. You know, it's like, so what? But in the South, you know, we don't know how to act. I mean,
No, you don't.
I mean, we don't know how to act down here.
Even when it rains, I can literally calculate every time it rains. I see a F-150 or a big wheel truck just falling in a ditch somewhere, and I'm like, why? What's the point?
Driving too fast in the rain, and they skid on the road.
Yeah, but everybody north, shout out to my people up north. Like we will skate over snow, we will skate over rain. It's like we won with the snow and the rain, and we got better
down
sewers.
here. Bad weather. We don't know what to do with that.
My first duty station was Corpus Christi, Texas, which is South Texas. I'm a sweater, so that was my first time being in that humidity. I literally could stand still. It looked like I ran a marathon. It was ridiculous.
Oh wow!
Then I had the opposite extreme of that. It snowed out there for the first time since like the 70s, so that was weird and funny. Then I ended up getting stationed in Florida and experienced a hurricane. We had to evacuate for the hurricane. Then I went up to Virginia and experienced one of the coldest winters they had in I don't know how many years.
I remember
It
that.
was negative 11 degrees wind chill
Yeah.
one day. It was so cold that I had my industrial, they call it a weather coat on, and I was standing in front of an industrial heater, and I was still cold.
Yeah.
And I could smell the coat burning from the heater, and I was
Yeah.
still cold.
It's
Then I
crazy.
had, we went to the Middle East, and we experienced one of their hottest summers ever. I think it got up
Oh
to
my God.
130 degrees for us. So I was just experiencing like literally the hottest or the coldest temperatures
You was getting
every fucking
tested.
place I went to. And then sprinkle in some natural fucking disasters. I also almost drove through the middle of Hurricane Katrina because I was stationed in Florida, and I got I wouldn't say I was in school in Florida, and then I got stationed to Virginia. Before I went to Virginia, I went back to Texas to go holler at some of my partners and stuff because that's where I was first stationed at. So I drove there because I had like 2 weeks to get up to Virginia. I drove back there, and this was the week of Hurricane Katrina. Mind you, I'm not watching no news. I have no idea about Hurricane Katrina. Luckily, the dude's house who I stayed at is from New Orleans. The last night I was staying there, I went to sleep, and I'm assuming it was him. It was either him or it was God. But the Weather Channel was on. And when I woke up, all over the news was Hurricane Katrina. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's right in the path of where I got to drive. Literally, if that shit had not came on the TV, or if that wasn't on the TV, I literally would have drove directly through the middle of Hurricane Katrina.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Real quick, can I say something real quick?
So Tommy, you didn't have any good places you ever visited?
Oh, no, visiting, yeah, I did. When I did go overseas, I went from the East Coast, so we did like more the European places. Dubai was dope.
Nice.
Italy was dope. Greece was dope. Spain was dope. I went to a lot of fucking dope ass places, bro. Man, I just, the only thing that I hate is we didn't have the shit that we got now where the camera phones and shit. So I literally have like one picture from that entire deployment. I'm so, because I had it saved on an external hard drive. So on that same external hard drive, I'm gonna just be transparent with y'all. I had hella porn on there. We was on deployment, and it was like running slow or something. So like I had kind of like hit it, and when I hit it, it fucked the hard drive up, bro. So every picture that I took overseas gone. All my porn was gone. All my music was gone. Hurt my heart, bro.
Did you say all his prawn was gone?
God.
Now, a good place for me was that I visited while in the military was South America was beautiful when you get in, like some of the when you see some
Certain
of the
areas.
Yeah, like I said, certain areas of South America is beautiful, but I got to tell you, Kuwait City, that place looks like Miami. Go and some of the most beautiful women you'll ever see in your life. In your life. I'm talking about TV
Oh,
included.
Spain was like that too.
Yeah,
Spain
I'm
was
telling you,
nice.
like, yeah, and talking about TV included. Some of the most beautiful, just walking in the mall
Yeah.
of Kuwait City, just walking around in the mall.
I heard that about Dubai too. Like the malls is ridiculous. They had their own little snow.
Bro, it's like the richest city over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and
Oh,
where
you
else?
talking about Dubai?
Yeah.
Qatar.
Yeah,
Qatar is
Dubai
like that
got
too.
a artificial snow hill. So
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
we
they
went
do.
to the mall, we literally they have an area where you can sit down and watch people come down the snow. And what people don't know is the snow it handles different than real snow. So people will get skiing skills and go up there and back. So what we used to do, or what we did was we would go to the little area where you could watch with a gang of drinks and just get drunk as fuck and watch people fall down the hill. Shit was hilarious.
That's all some stuff
The
I do.
birthday mall, though, that mall expensive as fuck. I'm talking Louis, Gucci, all that bullshit.
Nah.
We seen a $50,000 phone case. I'm like, oh yeah, they got me fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like and if you want to go a good place to visit, after I left the military, like 2 weeks later, I got home, right? I got home, and 2 weeks later, my dad just out of nowhere passed away, gone, right? So yeah, and just out of nowhere, no health problems, nothing, perfectly healthy dude, just here 1 second and gone the next, But so after that, clear my head, I thought, made sure my mom and my sister were okay. I left and went to Brazil, and I was there for about 6 weeks. I thought about not coming back. Like I was so close to picking up the phone and saying, "Hey, Ma, I'm in Brazil, Rio. I ain't coming back." Didn't speak the language. Didn't speak the language. Said no. My Spanish was already rusty. You know what I'm saying? It was just at the time. It was just working knowledge.
Yeah. It's so many times you can say "sí" and "nada."
Right. You know what I'm saying? I only had working knowledge. But see, when they train you for language school, you're only there for like 3 or 4 months, right? They want you to have working knowledge of the language and then go from there. And that's about it. But then 3 years in the Middle East, and then you go to South America, it's like, well, fuck. I mean, what do you remember? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So to say there's very little overlap with Portuguese anyway.
I'm sorry to cut you off, bro.
What place did I mention?
Yeah.
Okay, Kuwait City, Qatar, and Qatar. Those are the two really nice places that I like. And when I get out, Brazil was really nice. Rio.
Okay. Any Pacific spot in Brazil? Just because from knuckleheads out there, just to be aware of certain areas, because people go into these countries thinking like they're just gonna get them good experiences, but they don't be.
Hey, Daddy, let's go to Brazil without even knowing anything.
Right. Go to the Copacabana and get you a tour guide. Or something your first time.
Don't be a cheap son of a bitch.
Right. Then go see like Christ the Redeemer. Go see that and some of the landmarks. There's these islands that they go to that are off the coast.
Mm-hmm.
That they have these
The statue of Jesus.
Yeah, Christ the Redeemer. That's what it is. Yeah, go see that, and like I said, go to the Copacabana and look for tour guides. Okay. Preferably look for tour guides before you go there.
Yeah,
and set all that up. You know what I'm saying? Because
we had packages.
Yeah, what?
So when we would go to a port, they would have packages that you could buy to go on tour. So like I toured the Acropolis, I toured the Colosseum in Rome, I toured the first Olympic Stadium in Greece. I toured a lot of shit. I just some shit in Spain. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I went out there on full tourist mode. So what I would do is take the first day we went out there, and I followed the white folks.
There you go.
And after that, then I get on my nigga shit.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Tommy trying to get drunk like Usher over there.
Yeah, because fellas, for real, in Brazil, you fool around and find yourself in the favelas, you're probably not coming out.
Woo.
People talk about the gangster stuff here. No, they
Yeah.
don't. The police don't go there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
The police
Guys
don't
got
go out
picked
there.
up, they don't come back.
Right. You go in there and you get your head knocked off. All right. I told you to find a tour guide. You're gonna be
Next thing you know, mom is crying. My son was a good son. He was a good child.
right. Now, I went to Medellin in Colombia,
Mhm.
and Venezuela though is where we say someplace outside of Caracas, and that's where I really got to mingle with the public, like in a large, in a real way in Venezuela, and that was awesome. I would not recommend going to Venezuela now, though. Wait until they get that whole situation cleared up. Yeah, and by the way, that was not our fault. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Quick question, Mandra.
What?
Did you experience Cali, Cartagena, and were you in Barranquilla as well?
Cali?
Yeah,
No.
were you a part? Yeah, well, yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta go back to Colombia, man. I gotta go back.
Yeah, I mean, we were there in South America primarily for work. When we weren't working, we were still working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never left the clock. So for us to go there and have a good time wasn't a real thing because you don't know. At the same time, it's kind of this. We're doing this cloak and dagger thing down there. You don't know who is on your side and who to trust or who's looking to stab you in the back. It was one of those situations. So yeah, we went to restaurants and stuff like that and had it and ate good and met people and had a little fun. But
Were you ever ordered to go to Bogota?
yes,
You don't have to answer yes or well.
Bogota.
Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, Bogota.
We went to. I went to Bolivia, Cochabamba, Bolivia. Paraguay. I don't even remember where we were at. We were just in the.
Are those places that you're naming? Those places that tourists can visit, or just a place, just something?
No, I would not recommend Bolivia.
Okay. Right. That's why I feel like that's one of the reasons you asked. Like, yeah.
Right. Bolivia. That was all business.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm telling you.
But that's where all the politicians are at.
Yeah.
With the Navy, when we go on the port,
They politicking, all right.
we go to hang out, we go to chill. When they go in there, they going in there for work.
Yeah, that was all. Yeah. Especially Bolivia. That was all. I'll tell you offline what kind of work that was. Bolivia, we weren't there for fun. No, you ever see that movie Predator? The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And most of Colombia, when we were in Colombia, most of Colombia was that as well.
Jungle tactics and warfare.
Yeah, bro. Yes. Yeah. And it was serious business. Like, yo.
Hey, well, I'm gonna ask you offline, but I was gonna say about the FARC, but never mind.
Yeah. No.
How about the CEO of our boat took us UA. I think for y'all, what is that called? Unexcused absence for y'all?
Yeah.
UA. Yeah, yeah. So AWOL. I know Army they said
Army's AWOL, yeah.
He had asked permission for us to go over to Spain because we was just sitting in the dock, and I guess his boss had told him no. So his boss went on like vacation, and so he asked the next person up since dude was on vacation. Dude said, "Yeah, we bounce out. We halfway to Spain," and motherfuckers hit us up and go, "Oh, y'all UA." Fuck you mean we UA? We doing what the fuck he told us to do. Oh yeah, y'all CO got y'all UA. So we go over to Spain, chill out, have hella fun, come back. And so our last deployment, because my ship was being decommissioned after I believe it was like the next year. So whenever they decommission a ship, and decommission is when they take it out of use and they basically strip it down. So before they decom, they're supposed to have a farewell tour.
Mm-hmm.
This hurts to this day. So your farewell tour is literally supposed to be damn near a fucking vacation, bro. You're supposed to just be hitting the islands, kicking your fucking feet up, and fucking chilling. I'm talking about Curacao. Like, you just supposed to be chilling. So their punishment for us was to send us to fucking the Middle East, bro.
Oh, wow.
So our last deployment was to the Middle East. But our CO was so cool. That's how we ended up going to Greece and to Italy and all of that shit. But technically, my last deployment, I was supposed to be on the fucking tropical 6-month tropical vacation.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah.
Tax dollars right there. Tax dollars well spent.
Hey,
Now, and I'll
hey,
tell you this:
man,
where your tax dollars go, where you get to. Now, when we was in Venezuela, that was way more political. Like, that's when the negotiation skills and dealing with diplomats and generals of other countries and stuff like that. That's where all that came into play, and it was in full effect. Like, it was like Game of Thrones type shit.
Oh, wow.
like seriously, that was wild.
So now I feel like it kind of lead, and we get the warm up conversations going, because now I feel like it kind of leading to, just a little bit shade of a dark a little bit, right? Because it's not always, just to be fair. So it's not always rainbows and kittens when you go into the boot camp. You get your orders to go after that. You know what I'm saying? Because on my end, I was told that you kind of in boot camp, you pick your main 3 that you want to go, but not sometimes they don't send you directly there. They just send you random spots that's not even on the list that you want to go.
Facts.
Okay, thank you for confirming that one.
So
Absolute facts. When I put on my list, nowhere near it.
My 3 spots was 3 places that didn't snow. I said California, Texas, and Florida. Texas is supposed to be one of the hardest fucking places to get stationed. And where the fuck they send me? Fucking Texas. I was like, you motherfucker. I wanted to put Texas on there because I had to put a third choice on there. Yeah. I wanted California, Florida. Again, I was in these streets. The only thing I was thinking about is where the hoes at. Texas, California, Florida. That's where I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to Somebody Beach, and I'm trying to continue what I was doing at home. And they sent me to fucking Texas.
Hey, Tommy, real quick question, Tommy. Do they have a Navy base or an air base or something up in Northern California where you're at?
They have Travis Air Force Base up here. It's in Fairfield.
Okay.
Texas is actually on my list, but they're like, no.
Oh, really? What part of Texas you would love to visit, though?
Now, I had been to the Dallas-Fort Worth area before. I had relatives that lived there, so I went there to visit, and we went to that water park they got over there. That was forever ago, but I remember liking it. I was like, okay, somewhere in Texas, I can just probably drive to Dallas, the Dallas area, or Houston or somewhere like that. I knew Fort Hood was there, so I was like, I'll just put this down here. So I put Texas down there. More likely it's going to be Fort Hood,
Okay.
I didn't know if the Army had any bases in Florida. I put Florida down there like Tommy, And another one I put was New York. You know what I mean? I'm glad I didn't get that because that's Fort Drum. I'm glad I didn't get it. Like everything I put Hawaii. Everything I put on my list. Nope, you going to brag.
That was one of my spots.
The guy sat there at his desk and told me.
Brag, bro?
Yeah, the guy sat there at his desk and told me.
Y'all.
Nope,
when I tell y'all that's the middle of fucking nowhere, you damn near can't even call that California, bro. Middle of fucking nowhere.
Look, it's in Fayetteville, North Carolina, right? But they call it the Army. They call it Vietnam. And when I got there, I completely understood why. Yo, and then I was like, I thought Montgomery was bad. I was like, you know what? Montgomery better than this shit. What the hell?
I don't know why people compare. Yeah, you can't compare that. That's like 2 big oranges and apples, bro.
Right, but I was like, still, I was like, this place sucks. Like, that's why deployments. I was like, hey, we getting good. Okay, cool, let's go. I got my shit packed. We're ready to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and then the horror stories when it came to relationships that guys are going through out there. It's like, yo, listen, I'm not getting married while I'm out here.
I got a buddy. He was in the army in Afghanistan. He said they divided the men and women. So the women was like over like literally another wall, and all I could do just like peek at them.
Oh, we were so on our ship. Our ship held 2,500 people, somewhere around 2,500 people. So the ratio was 2,000 men and 500 women.
Oh wow.
And that's what we was living on for 6 months. I had 3. I don't know what everybody else had, but I had 3 solid ones that held me down for the whole 6 months.
I ain't gonna lie, you're different than them. You came in with another different intention. You know what I'm saying?
But also keep in mind, Angelus, he was in the Navy. He had access to that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah,
Because
I
I ain't gonna lie,
Listen, bro.
Because military, because listen, the females in the Marines, they don't look that good. I didn't hear nothing, bro.
Look, I'm gonna tell you what I've seen, and it's the weirdest fucking shit I've ever seen. The baddest females that I've seen in the military were Army and fucking Marines, and I don't fucking get it at all.
Not from my experience, bro. Not from my experience.
The chick at MEPS that I told you about, she was going Army. I got her number and never fucking was able to call her again because, like I said, I was gone in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So that was a waste. But that one hurt, bro. She was fucking beautiful.
Maybe the Army. I've seen a few like Army chicks, but not from Marine Corps. Not really. Not really, bro. It's usually men.
Bro, I've seen some Marine chicks. I was like, and you know, naturally when you think of Marines, because of course they got, you know, jobs that they can do that ain't.
Yeah,
but when you think about Marine or Army, you think about like combat. In my head, I'm like, these fine ass chicks in a fucking Army and Marines.
They there now.
Now,
Yeah,
I'll tell you, now the Army, the baddest chicks I've seen were in the Air Force and the Navy.
I was going to say that too.
Yeah, I've seen some beautiful women in the Navy, man. Beautiful.
Yeah,
women.
they're saying that the Navy definitely got some. But I think, you know what I think it probably is for us? Is because we get to see these females like behind the scenes so they don't look as good to us.
Yeah.
So we know personalities and like, oh, this bitch fine, but she trash, like her personality trash type shit.
Yeah.
So I think that might be it. Because for me, like we didn't communicate with them a lot. I just seen them was like, damn, she with the Marines or there she with the, because I didn't make it a habit of dealing with people in the service at all. Even in like the Navy, like if I dealt with them, like I said, like it was on deployment. Because like as soon as we came back from deployment, I didn't deal with none of them chicks. Like it was a solid understanding. We gonna do this out to sea, and when we come back, you live your life and I live my life.
Shout out to those 3 that held Tommy B down for those 6 months.
Bro, that's why I said, like, you don't have to lie. Like you said, like if you real with these motherfuckers, a lot of
Salute to them.
Yeah, that's pretty much right here too. Is like when you're there with the same person over again, you're gonna have that chemistry gonna kick in. It's like you being on the desert island, and it's just y'all two. It's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. But let me ask this question though. So since we're talking about the ladies, right? Since they got these requirements between men and women serving, do y'all feel like the requirements there is fair, or you think it should be like limited just all around for everybody across the board?
That shit is fucking idiotic, bro. Like the shit that they have the females do, I'm just like, y'all might as well just let them go home. Like it was like literally, I'm not bullshitting. I swear to God, not but it was like 2 push-ups.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Hold up, are you serious?
Dead ass. It was like 2 or 3 push-ups. It was like maybe 5 at the most. At the most. The sit-ups, I think it was like maybe 15 or 20. Like it was fucking ridiculous, bro. I'm like, they might as well just go home. This ain't showing shit.
I'm gonna give
after
you
boot camp.
That was before.
Oh, before. So
Yeah,
what were
well,
they doing
well,
after? Like when you because y'all have to do workouts in between, right? So
I'll break you. No, you're good. I'll break you down a simple analogy. So, like in the Marine Corps, right? We have a thing called the IST, which is the initial strength training, and that's when you're a poolee or a recruit going into boot camp. So you have to at least run 1.5 miles in a certain amount of time. You have to do a certain amount of pull-ups. You have to do push-ups and crunches. They added the push-ups later down the line, but it was originally just crunches, pull-ups, and running. And then you pass that. The women had it way lower than the men. The men had to do like 3 or 4 times more, which usually you have to. And then once it goes from IST, it goes to PFT. So PFT is a 3-mile run. And if you get it in 18 minutes, it's 100 points. If you get 20 pull-ups, it's 100 points. complete dead hang. And if you get 100 crunches in under 2 minutes, it's 100 points.
Oh, wow.
For the women, way low, way low. It was like 4 pull-ups or 5 pull-ups, and then it was like 70 crunches in over 2 minutes, and then the run time was like 24 minutes for 3 miles.
24 minutes for 3 miles. That's crazy. My fastest time in a mile was 5:03.
See, for us, we had to get.
Yeah, I think I was like at an 8-minute mile.
See, 5:03 for a mile, that's not bad at all. You know, but for us,
that's really, really good.
Yeah.
For a mile is fucking ridiculous. What you mean not bad? That's
Olympic. That's Olympic.
I just used to love to run, bro. Like speed was my thing. Like I used to love to run.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like you would have made it. I don't know what your push-ups is like, but the running part,
push-ups.
You would.
I don't know.
If you maintain that pace, if you can maintain that or get close to that for 2 miles, you'd have passed out.
You would have breezed, bro. You would have smoked everybody. You would have smoked everybody.
You know what? We ran a mile and a half. My mile and a half was like 8 minutes. It was like borderline 9.
Oh no, I would have ate that because my 5 miles was between 25 minutes and 27 minutes, but I always kept it at least 30 minutes or under. And then the mile was like my highlight. And that was in high school. So after high school, like grown man, like maybe 6 years ago, I was training for cross country 5 miles, and I was trying to build up to 10.
That's why you're fast.
Yeah, I like to do the endurance. Like I'd rather work for the long go and then the short one because you got that burst, and if you got the endurance, you'd be like a cheetah. You could just keep.
That's
going.
why boxers do that.
Top speed.
I'll show you how much of an asshole I was, English. I used to run the motherfucker backwards half the time because the fat fucks would be struggling. So I literally used to run it backwards, run back towards them, then run back. Like I was a fucking dickhead, bro. And still was getting like 9-minute miles, bro. They used to be so mad. Like I was at my physical prime back then, bro. Like we used to like go at it with because we didn't have pull-ups, Marcus. We instead of pull-ups, we had push-ups. So
I like push-ups.
We would challenge each other on push-ups and sit-ups, and we used to go at it, bro. Like in 2 minutes, I think my tops was like 125, 130. Like we used to just bow, and then the push-ups, I think we was sitting around. It go anywhere from 80 to about 100. Like we was retarded with it.
I think I tapped out on that one because my top was I don't know the time limit on it. I just did it just to be doing it. I think I did at least 50. I didn't without no breaks, and then I just stopped.
I think my best score, and you would have smoked me, Angelus. You would have smoked me. And the 3 mile, I got like a 19-minute. That was the best I could ever do. And then my pull-ups, I did 24 complete dead hang. And then my crunches, I did about 190 in 2 minutes. And then I couldn't do any more. But other than that, for some reason, I kept focusing on abs, running, at least endurance. And then my pull-ups, I would just do pull-ups like about 50 to 100 reps a day, complete dead hang, and then I put my pack on, and then I do a failure as much as I go with my pack, take it off, and then do them again. Because that's what one of my sergeants would tell me. Just do that. Keep your weight off, and then put weight on, and keep doing until failure. And then I just do like workouts, and that's it.
I had that. Remember Conan the Barbarian, the movie when he's always pushing stuff around? I had that type of workout. I would literally just like have a tire, drag it around, or like I even got homemade weights at home. It's like these. I don't know if because you're in the state. I don't know if you've ever been past it in Dothan. There's a company called Twitchell, and they make these crazy type of weird yarn that you can use the material to make tires more quieter, and then some other fabrics in between the bolts or the lining. So it's this huge yarn or roll, right? And a sucker I weighed per like 20 to 40 pounds, and we couldn't use it with bad yarn. And here I am out of nowhere, like, hey, if I get a pipe and I can stick the pipe in there, that could be my dumbbells. Or if I can get this, I can use that for free weights instead of me actually going and buy the weights. So I actually got the manager, can I take it? He's like, sure. So I said, I just want to make sure I don't want anybody thinking I'm stealing. So I had like 4 of those and the huge ones, and I got a pipe, and I just actually like wrapped it around so it looked like nice and concise. So it won't like unravel. And I just sit there and just work out with it every time. Squats with it, walk with it. I even have it wrapped around me, just start walking around with it. I used to do dumb stuff like that all the time.
Works, whatever works for you.
Yeah, but the thing is, like for us, yeah, like I didn't really know what I was signing up for. You know what I'm saying? So I signed up to be I initially signed up to be a parachute rigger, right? But then we got to airborne, we get the basic training. We did 3 weeks of a specialized school called AOC, right? Then we went to airborne school. This is before I went to AIT to learn my job. So we graduate airborne school, and I'm on cloud 9. I can't believe I did that shit. I jumped out of a plane 5 times, and I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? So then
Got your wings.
Right, got my wings. Here's what they do with the wings, because they got those metal needles that they stick.
They stab your ass.
They'll put it on. They put it on you like this, and then they take their hand and slap you right in the chest, and you're like, yeah, okay, And so,
what was the purpose of that?
Just to fuck with you.
It's tradition, and to fuck with you. Yeah, and it's a tradition that they do.
It's kind of like fraternities when they do certain shit, yeah.
Right. And then there's these guys. There's one guy with a tan beret standing out there and another guy with a green beret. And they're like, hey, anybody want to go to RIP? At the time, RIP stand for Ranger Initiation Course, right? Yeah. So some people like, anybody want to do it? Other guys like, anybody want to go to Special Forces Selection? Anybody want to? So me and a few other guys are standing there. We're like, yeah, we just graduated airborne. So it was hey, so say we go to this and we don't pass. What do we do? Well, you get back on your course to what you're doing now. We're like, so what do we got to lose then? Let's just try out. So we just try. I went with the guy got with the green beret with the Special Forces Selection. I didn't know if the shit was gonna move this fast, bruh. A week later, it was a week later. I'm standing there at attention, first thing in the morning for day 1 of Special Forces Selection. And when I tell you, it was a class of like 400 people, right? And they had us in this pit full of like this chopped up rubber, right? And it was thick, like thick, layers and layers thick. So it was real soft. And they had these big ass telephone poles that they brought in there. And we was doing log PT and regular PT for hours. The first 5 hours, we lost like 200 and some odd people within the first 5 hours of day 1. And I was like, fuck it, I'm here, man. Why quit? You know what I'm saying? And that's what got me through selection. But I can tell you all about that. Selection was crazy. The land nav almost got me. I wasn't good at land nav at the time, but the land nav,
that had me struggling. I struggled like a mug.
Yeah. And so, Elizabeth, if they were to do that, we would literally have one woman in the military.
Shout out to Poppy.
Right. Listen, the physical fitness.
No, it's like literally, if you want to know why dudes say men are better than women, literally just go look at the physical readiness test. We literally dominate the fucking shit out of women. And naturally as we should, but that's more for the people that try to push back on that thought of men being superior or whatever. It's not even fucking close.
It's not even
fucking close.
Yeah, because now we're talking about
what they had.
Yeah, because now we're talking about the physical,
the science.
So now I got to ask you this, Tommy. So in y'all guys' experience, so did you ever? I mean, if they couldn't at least do it, did you at least have female or women in your platoon or whatever say, you know what, I'm gonna at least try it to try to meet your requirements? Really?
No. Because
they literally struggled with their test.
Right. Like when I went to selection
with 2 sit-ups.
Listen, bruh.
Struggle,
you got women who cannot do one.
Well,
down and up. Can't do one.
The test that we had for our women in the Marine Corps, it was a little bit higher, but still was way less than what we had to do. But we didn't
even test on the sorry ass niggas that couldn't do the damn test.
Yeah, they were just they couldn't do shit.
For a mile and a half, they give you damn near 20 minutes, and we had niggas that couldn't do that.
That was sad, bro. It was some of the guys. I was like, bro,
a mile and a half for 20 minutes.
Hey, Angelus, I lost 80 pounds before I left to MEPS because I had gained the weight from like depression eating and stuff and anxiety and stuff. Yeah. I lost the weight before I left. I was stocky, so I was built. So I was basically like a WWE wrestler, and like they would kind of still call me like a little thick body in boot camp. And so I just leaned out more, I chiseled more, and next thing you know, some of the guys that were skinny, they couldn't run. They were skinnier than me, like twigs. It was to a point where there was a camera crew for a documentary, and there was a guy running, and I blew past him like twice. And the freaking the drill instructor was like, "Say hi to your mom and dad. Say hi, mom. I'm gonna get a donut and feed it to your face, mom." And then the kid was like, just the kid was, and the drill instructor just tells him, "I'm gonna make you live in the quarter deck. I'm gonna make you live and die on there. Delete, my bad. Delete, live and delete in the quarter deck. And then make sure you get into shape. I'm going to whip your ass into shape." And the kid was just like, "I'm going to make sure you eat 3 meals a day."
Look, the physical fitness. I love to run. I remember as a kid, and it's probably somewhere, some news channel in Georgia, and the guy was like, had the camera, and my grandma was like, "Hey, whose channel is that so I can see him on tonight news?" And I said, "I don't know, Mama." And she's like, "Can you check?" True. I took off running, went the wide way, came around, saw him and zooming across, and like probably like 3 seconds flat. I was like, "Yeah, channel 11. Oh, that could be on 9 o'clock. Okay, cool, Grandma." And I went right back in the room and just chilled. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. And my big motivation would be like somebody like Mandrell. Now, real talk, bro. My motivation would have been somebody like Mandrell. And let's say if he was a cocky one too, like, and somebody I didn't like, but I would respect them, I probably couldn't beat him. But if I'd have made sure to be at least one of the two things, I'd have got over it. If it was jogging or running or some kind of push-ups, I'd have been with him in the morning, the night. Like, that'd have been my buddy.
So get this, right? So we have like height and weight measurements, right? So the height you're supposed to be at a certain weight. That goes for every branch. And so I was always at the 185, 180 range at like 5'10", right? Mm-hmm. I'd always be there when I got my leanest. And then there was somebody there that I keep seeing, and this kid was obviously coming out of boot camp and MCT, very, very chubby. And they get on his ass. They said, "Hey, you got to fit into your uniform. We're not going to make that excuse. You're going to get into shape. We're going to bust you into shape." This kid was literally getting picked on every day, getting wrecked every time. Push-ups, pull-ups, jumping jacks, suicides, all that stuff. Keep doing it. Every time until he kept puking and puking and puking. When they say they're going to get your ass because if you can't fit into your freaking uniform the nice way, they'll make you. They'll make you fit in that.
Oh, wow. Well, shout out to them. I will ask this question, you know, because everybody has these good stories to tell. Did anybody, you know, you don't have to say you per se if you want to have that conversation, but, you know, in y'all experiences, did y'all have anybody that come out with like some kind of injuries mentally or physically? And how that
all the time, dude. All the time. We look, the first, like I said, day one of SF selection, you had people like they
and just for the viewers, what is FF selection?
SF selection stands for Special Forces Selection. That's at the time it was 2 weeks. Now it's 3 weeks, but at the time it was 2 weeks, only 14 days, and of nothing but constant testing, mentally, physically. I mean, the most sleep I got at one time was 4 hours. But aside from that, it was mostly just like you get an hour here, 2 hours there, an hour there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're constantly doing stuff, and they have these mind games, like these puzzles, these scenarios where you got tires, you got a couple of rods over here, you got some Constantino wire, which is, you know, what you call it, the wire on top of the fence. I'm used to calling it
barbed wire.
Barbed wire,
yeah, and razor wire. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So that's what Constantino wire is. You have all these little tools or whatever, and they'll say, "Okay, take this barrel or this truck, yes, a truck with no wheels on it, and take it over there." Oh. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff in the way, and it's on like beach sand. You know what I'm saying? And you got to carry this thing. We found out later, it turned out we had to lug this thing 6 miles anyway to work together as a team to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy stuff like that. And you have people day one throwing up and carrying on, and they're like, "If you're gonna throw up, get out of the pit, get out of the pit." And then they're like, "Pick that weakness up and put it in your pocket." So they make guys pick up the vomit and put it in their pocket.
Shout out to Mandrell, aka Mini Rambo.
Tommy, how do you not laugh? Pick up that weakness and put it in your pocket. Yes, Sergeant.
Yeah,
that's
Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
We had to catch. I don't know if they did that with y'all in class. That if they got caught chewing, they made them swallow that shit.
Yep.
That shit was
Yep.
disgusting, bro. Like they would
Nasty.
try to sneak in and dip, and if they got caught, swallow it, and you had to watch them swallow that shit. You watch motherfuckers throw up after swallow. That shit was
Yeah.
great. But,
Crazy.
we
You're
had a
not
cat.
supposed to be dipping though. At that time, you're not supposed to be dipping.
I was an AO, which is aviation ordnance, man. So we loaded bombs and missiles onto the aircraft. And so on the ship, we would have to load them up and down elevators. So we had a chief whose leg got caught in the elevator, and they came down and chopped his leg off.
Oh wow.
We had somebody go overboard. We had a couple of things.
Willingly go overboard, or it was just a mistake that happened?
No, it was a mistake. We had a chick that did it on purpose. That was before I got on the ship though, but I had heard about it.
Mhm.
She just jumped off, and they didn't recover her. It's a bunch of stuff. We had a helo that crashed at my first duty station. It happened after I got out, but I was still down there when it happened. But they was doing night ops, just training, and they ended up hitting a electric wire, and they went down. And mind you, I don't know if they do this in other branches, but in the Navy, the worst pilots get sent to helo. So any helo pilots in the Navy are the ones that couldn't cut it out for F-18s. Essentially, the worst pilots. So they used to have people that went on rides with them. I wasn't fucking with it. But I wanted to say too, off of what Mandrell said, because me and Mandrell signed up. I'm not sure what year you signed up, Marcus. Me and Mandrell signed up around the same time, 2002, 2003, which is within 2 years of 9/11.
Yeah.
I tell all of these quote unquote super patriotic white boys, the first thing I ask them if they're around my age, are you a veteran? If your answer is no, you can shut the fuck up, because you're a fucking coward. You a fucking bitch. Because when I tell you that when me and Mandrell signed up, there was not
emotional damage.
There wasn't a plethora. There was a shortage. So to see all of these bitch ass motherfuckers out here acting like they the most patriotic niggas out there, and then when somebody attacks this country, you hoe ass niggas ain't signed up. But now y'all acting like y'all about that shit. They was giving us bonuses to get us into that motherfucker. That's how
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. If it isn't Litterman's attitude.
The realistic bonuses. Realistic bonuses.
If you, I'm 39. If you within, I would say, because I joined at 20, so I would say anywhere from over 36, bro. If you ain't a veteran and you talking this patriot, you suck a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I joined in the middle when ISIS was hitting the fan. So I joined in 2011, and I left. Yeah, and then so I had to go oversee the Middle East in the Marine Corps, because we're like the first ones in, the last ones out.
Yeah, that's what I didn't want to do.
Yeah, and so like from the Marine Corps, I was feeling patriotic, so I was like, man, I want to serve my country. I was all motivated and stuff. I busted my ass to lose the weight. I got in shape. I came back to that office. I want to make something out of my life, and then I want to make my parents proud, and get the benefits. You know what I'm saying? Get the benefits. Might as well get something from it. I wasn't really looking at the pay, because I knew that enlisted you wouldn't really get paid that much. Yeah. But I was like, I'm gonna go for the experience. I want to be a part of a brotherhood. I want to meet people in my platoon that are from different parts of life, and just go experience life. So I left my house at 18, and that was it.
So y'all fellas, looking back, right? So how do you, just speaking to, because way Tommy B got it, like, how would y'all guys say for the next generation coming up, like, how should it be? Because I feel like the message is not out there, because like all y'all guys went for your own reasons, but wasn't given like the right information, like, hey, let me give you what it really is about. Like, how would you tell these guys, and how would you want people to let these guys know before going in? Like, hey,
don't let your recruiter screw you over.
That sounds like a good one.
Don't let your recruiter screw you over. And then also one thing too, make sure that if you're going to pick a job, make sure it's a job that's going to help you out in the civilian world. It's going to give you praise benefits.
That right there is the biggest one, bro. That's absolutely the biggest one. So our acronym for Navy is never again volunteer yourself. But one of my biggest things I tell dudes if they go in the military is document any and every fucking thing that happens to you.
Go to the doctor for it too. Go to the doctor.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said document it. I don't give a fuck if your pinky hurt. Go there for every fucking thing. So when you get out, if you don't, go the whole 20 and get retirement, you can get out and you get your VA claim, and you'll be handled for the rest of your life. So that's one of the biggest things I push when I hear dudes talking about going is just cool. If you gonna go, just make sure any and every. I swear, even though I get a nice chunk of change because I'm 80%, so I get a nice chunk of change. But
that's my cousin too.
I just, to be honest with you, if I had knew that advice, I'd easily be 100% right now. Yeah, I mean, easily.
Because I'm 100%. You know what I'm saying, with the VA. And
yeah, I think I can hit to 100. I just got to figure it out.
Hey, talk to me, Tommy. I told you before. Listen, I told you before. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up with you for sure.
Yeah. You ready for that? Because I got that whole game figured out.
Okay, cool.
I got the whole game figured out. I know what they do. I know what they do with that.
Because I already got my PTSD is at 70, bro.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then so my personal injury, I used to hoop on base, and I think I told y'all that yesterday. I tore my ACL and my MCL while I was in there. They only gave me 10% for that.
Orthopedic injuries don't yield anything high. Most of the high ones are migraine headaches.
Is that an echo?
PTSD. Migraine headaches, PTSD, sleep apnea. By the way, if you're in the military now, go get tested for sleep apnea.
100%.
Go do a sleep study now while you're in, because if it's in your military medical records that you have it, the VA cannot deny you.
Oh wow,
it's totally illegal. They cannot deny you. That lawsuit you'll be a millionaire with that lawsuit.
I definitely got.
That's why those commercials come on air now.
What'd you say, Tommy?
I said I definitely got migraines. I'm not sure if I can claim them though. I got to check.
Yeah,
but I got tinnitus. That's only 10%. I got the shit for the scarring on my face from shaving. That's another 10%. So it all added up to like.
You claimed that too in there?
Yeah, the razor bumps and shit.
Razor bumps. I got me a little residuals.
Yeah, I got that. Listen, and then your eyes. You can get there's some things you can claim for your eyes. You go to get an eye exam. Yeah, Tommy, talk to me, man. Tommy, please call me, man.
I'm gonna definitely hit you up, bro. I definitely hit you up.
I
was thinking about with my back too, because we were lifting them heavy ass motherfucking bars. Like, we were lifting 500-pound bars, like, heavy as shit.
Yeah.
Shoot, I was working on tanks, man. That shit was heavy as shit.
That's crazy.
Because I mean, a lot of it depends on what you tell the doctor. Like if it's not in your military medical records, how you square that circle depends on what you tell the doctor.
True.
Depends on what you tell. It depends on how you spin that story.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I did a lot of work. Like my PTSD started out at 70. You know what I'm saying? And I got to like 80, and I sat on that for a minute. I was like, oh, I'm straight. I got to, I was making tons of money. I was like, then my mom's like, no, go get the rest of it. Go get the rest of it. And I was like, all right.
Go 1 second. Let me chime in for this one. Deuce is supposed to be on his way. He's actually an hour 30 minutes late. He had a long night, so he's actively working, serving our country right now. So he's in Poland. He's supposed to come in around about an hour ago, so something probably caught up. So I'm sure we probably
shout out to Poland.
Yeah, shout out to Poland. I'm sure we'll probably catch him on the back end, because after this, again, shout out to Black Men Unfiltered. Again, I appreciate for Mandrill, definitely appreciate for Tommy B, and definitely appreciate Marcus. They're actually putting their time out to come over here and have these discussions, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't have these conversations. So after this, we will be going over to support Mandrill at what is it? Unapologetic Mandrill Wednesday, which is tonight at 8:30. All right. So we're not going to keep this brother holding up that long, and definitely not Tommy B, and definitely not Marcus. So again, I appreciate these guys taking the time out for me and for the Great Pill Podcast, just sharing these conversations because it need to be had. And I don't, like I said, stuff that y'all saying, I don't hear this on the media. I don't hear, hey, avoid your recruiters. I don't hear, hey, if you go in, apply for everything. You know what I'm saying? These are stuff like you bumps down the road. You hear
Again,
you know
allegedly. Again, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Thank you, Marcus.
I didn't talk to Tommy B about some of this stuff before, and I can tell you now, me and Tommy B can talk all day and night, just exchanging stories.
Hey, thanks, man. Make me feel left out.
No, I'm about to say Marcus too. You know what I'm saying? You get some vets together, man. That's an all day and all night affair, man.
Yeah,
just exchanging stories.
I keep telling people, bro, if somebody get a good writer that can really like put these stories together, bro, you have an excellent fucking show, bro.
A book series.
Oh my god, I'm talking that should have put them housewives to shame, bro. I'm talking about dudes going on deployment and stacking 40, 50 G's in their account and come back to fucking nothing, bro. And the bitch just spent it all on another dude. I'm talking like buying the dude furniture, cars, all like just it's some wild dude go overseas, come back. His best friend, that's his roommate, is smashing his chick. We had a dude that decided to get drunk, and his roommate was overseas. He decided to hop on his roommate's motorcycle in a wife beater, shorts, and flip flops. Bapped the bike, totaled the bike, and then he ended up getting kicked out for the DUI, and it was. Bro, it's just be a mess. That's why I tell people, like, when they talk about these young athletes, I'm like, bro, if y'all knew what the fuck happened in the military, y'all just wouldn't even know.
There's a very much so romanticized idea of what an American service member is.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Angeles, it is very much so romanticized. Once you get in, because again, basic training, dude, you're in formation and you're doing the drill and ceremony stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had a drill sergeant where this dude, just looking at him, he looks like a cartoon character. He looks like someone drew an army drill sergeant.
Bro.
He's big up top. He had the flat top hair and the whole, and his skin on the side.
Bro.
He's like, and then it's like parade, and then someone messes up, and you can see this guy turn beet red, and he starts shaking. He's turning beet red, and he's shaking. And it's like, yo, this is out of a cartoon, man.
We had Petty Officer Stoughton. He was an AM1. He was an airframer. And he was the toughest motherfucker in there. And it was hilarious because our second class that was in there was a complete bitch. Little short, fat dude. Like our first class used to punk his little ass. We used to talk shit to him. Like hilarious. And then the head of it was Chief, and he was this Filipino dude with a hilarious fucking accent. Like that shit, man, this shit that brought back some fucking memories. That shit was hilarious. I remember Petty Officer Stoughton went up to this one dude, this part of the me laughing shit, and I guess he was looking at him, so he walks over, he goes, "You all right fucking me, boy?" And instead of the dude calling him by his last name, he called him by his first name. When I tell you I died, bro, that motherfucker
you knew it was coming.
"Are you my friend? You want to come to my house? You want to sit on my couch? You want to drink my beer? You want to fuck my wife? You want to fish with my pole?" Bro, when I tell you tears, bro, tears. I'm like, what did this dude just say? Bro, he said, "Do you want to fuck my wife?" Bro, I was dying, bro. That shit was hilarious.
I'm gonna tell you this, Angela. There's some dark humor in the military, bro.
How do you not laugh, Angelus? I'm telling you, those drill sergeants. How do you not let? I could have swore I was going to get in so much trouble for laughing. I knew that was going to be my problem. Luckily, one of them got me.
My issue was burying in boot camp because when they would do something funny, I would break down or I just try to hide my face, and I just try to like instead of it being like a serious lip, I just be like. And then next thing you know, they come for me, bro. They tell me, go over there, go to the quarterback. Next thing you know, jumping jacks, running knees, everything.
Miscreative. Now me, I remember they got at me one time. They caught me one time laughing. Drill sergeant came to me. Something Harris funny? Something funny, Harris? I said, no, Drill Sergeant. What's with that shit-eating grin on your face? I said, I'm just happy to be here, Sergeant. I love the Army. He just looked at me. He was like, and you can see him try to hold a smile back. He tried to, because you know what I'm saying? He knew I was bullshitting him, but after an answer like that, like, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you see him trying to hold back. He just stared at me for a while. And you see him trying to hold a smile back. And I kept my same face like this, tried not to laugh. He was like, you know, like
So-
after basic training was over, he knew I was gonna be a clever one. Because I mean, it's just the way I answered questions is like, yeah, you ain't finna have me hemmed up out here like the rest of them.
Yeah, so something Andrew said.
Like the rest of them.
So something that people might not know, but like maybe like these guys can relate to me, like Tommy and Mandrell, but boot camp, when you go to sleep, right, they'd have you standing right in front of your bed next to your rack mate, and then they tell you to, like, you know, hurry up and get into your sleeping shirt, your sleeping trousers, your sleeping socks and stuff like that. Your flip-flops out, take out your socks, go lay down in bed, have your prayer, make you yell and stuff, make you like sing a song or the Marine hymn. And then as we're sleeping the first hour, the drill instructors are walking around making sure we're not doing stupid shit, we're not staying up, we're actually getting sleep. And there's always this like 2 or 3 guys in the platoon that are known as like the worst guys, like AKA/terrorists. So one of the freaking drill instructors goes next to like across from me, and there's a guy named Hess. And the drill instructor is just like above him with the flashlight. He says, just remember, for the rest of this time you're here, I'm going to fuck with you. You're not going to make it.
You see what I'm saying, Angelus? Like, and the girl, like, okay, let's say SF selection. You asked us about like Army military standards earlier, right? I don't see a woman making it through selection, let alone the Q course, because the Q course is hard. The Q course stands for the qualification course. First, you go through the 2 weeks of selection, right? Now, you can go through all 14 days of that, of absolute hell, and and at the end, they handpick the people who are left, right? So you can go through all 14 days and not get picked. The Q course, that's about 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Give or take a month or so. That's if you pass everything the first time. Number one, I don't see a woman passing through that at all. Ever.
I'm not sure how old Miss Creative's uncles are, but if they older, Miss Creative, boot camp is pussy now. Capital P USSY.
Nowadays,
Yeah.
the last 5 years, it's
Yeah, it was a comedy show for me. Boot camp was like, until we got into the gas chamber. I thought it was going to be a joke too, right, Angelus? But we got in there. That fucking thing was smoked out. I mean, it was like we had the gas mask on. Yeah, we had the gas, and you couldn't hardly see in front of you, man. It was so much tear gas in there. No,
that
not
right
again.
there, it wasn't shit funny about that.
No,
It wasn't a goddamn thing funny about that.
No.
And then this the fucked up part about it. My petty officer Stoughton was literally standing outside the window, cracking up, pointing at us. Look at him! Look at him! Dog. Fuck that gas chamber, bro. Oh
Yeah,
my
for real.
mama. Fuck that gas chamber. That shit is trash.
Hey, now, Tommy, did they do this to you? They made us standing there while everybody's going in. We stayed in there for a few minutes. I'm sitting there like, because they make you standing there to make sure you sealed your mask on correctly, right? Me, I'm sitting there like,
and they make you take it off.
What time is it? You know what I'm saying? I'm fine, right? And so we got to the end, and then they said, okay, now take your mask off. I was like, wait, what? Take your mask off.
That's the same exact reaction I had.
I was like, now? Yes, Harris, now. And so, yes, Harris, now. And I'm like, okay. So we take the mask off. Now sing the Army song. I didn't even know the Army song. You know what I mean? So
Hey, I don't took out the ABCs out of nowhere.
Right.
Man,
So,
we had to recite our social. I'm literally like, fuck my social. I'm burning. Oh my
right.
God. And then,
Your eyes
and
burning,
you gotta
your
hold your
lungs
hand like
burning.
this.
Yeah.
If you got any snot in your nose, that shit dropping. Bloop.
Yeah, it's coming
Oh
out.
my God, bro.
It's-
Bro,
yeah, yes.
hey, the thing
Yeah,
is
sinus
too,
problems.
the moment you cough, you're done.
Yeah. It's over.
The moment you cough, you're done. And if you try to inhale,
did you take this big inhale after you cough? You're like, it's over. It's over, Angelus. It's like that, and they make you stand there and sing, march along, sing along for the blah blah. And I started going blah 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 blah. And I was like, I didn't know the other song, so it was like, you gonna finish the song, Harris?
when I tell you, Angelus, when I tell you. When I tell you, bro, I wasn't the one that was rolling, but there was dudes literally rolling on the floor. They couldn't take it.
Oh wow!
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah! Did they do drive-by phone calls for y'all?
Not really, not for me now.
So what they did with us, they called it a drive-by. What they did was they let us all go to the phones to call home, right? So we call in the family, right? Soon as the motherfucker say hello, they click the phones off, bro.
Oh,
When I tell you it was bro. When I tell you it was grown niggas in tears, again, I'm cracking the fuck up.
They did do that.
Crying,
They
bro,
did do that.
crying,
Tommy,
boo-hoo, bro.
right?
I'm not talking about like a teardrop. I'm talking boo-hooing, bro.
Boo-hoo crying.
I'm like, oh wow.
And I'm sitting there like, why is he crying? I want to talk to my mama. Because you want to talk to your mama? That's me in base training. Even in base training, I was like this.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Talk to my mama.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't cry, but if somebody, because I got a reaction of my personal space. If you'd have done it to the phone me, I'd have been pissed. I'm just going ahead and be 100. I wouldn't have cried, but I'd have been serious.
Hey,
Andrews would have been like that guy that been in the corner like in a Full Metal Jacket. Watch, hey, Andrews was that guy Full Metal Jacket. I'm gonna get his ass back in the bathroom. Wait till the fucking bathroom. When the lights come off, I'm in the bathroom.
Exactly.
I'm gonna tell you this too, Andrews, because I never talked about this to my parents. But there was like whenever we had beefs within the platoon, we had issues with guys, and we couldn't talk about it. We had to do the fist. Okay, it's like, all right, well, second, third watch hour, when the drill instructors go away in the hatch, aka the rooms, we go and set up. All right, this time, Marcus, you're gonna fight the guy that has an issue with you. You're gonna squabble it up with him. Fought like 2 or 3 fights. I was undefeated, baby, throughout boot camp.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm Tommy, bro. Real talk, bro. I'm petty. You ain't gonna be scheduling my fights. I don't want the world to know. I want me, him, and God to know. That's pretty much how my personality is. I will find
We didn't have that.
Yeah, I'm gonna find you, and we're gonna take.
Nah, we have fight clubs, bro.
Hey,
No,
fellas, I got a question for
Well, we
Tommy
did have,
and Marcus.
Sure.
we had a
Hold on.
racist fuck, and we had a dude that was Muslim,
Mhm.
and so at night he had went to go pray, and when he went to pray, the little punk ass white boy like start getting on his helmet, like, get your ass up, you fucking raghead. Man, when I tell you I went, man, I'll beat your motherfucking ass. Blood wasn't fucking with nobody. All he's trying to do is do his prayer. He had his rug and shit, you know, and I'm like, man, nah, that's out, bro. And it wasn't just me, it was a couple other people too. But I'm like, man, you got us fucked up, and he didn't get fucked with no more the rest of the thing. That shit was wild as fuck for me to see. Like, dude really got on his helmet because he was praying.
Wow. And I got a question for both Marcus and Tommy. Did you ever have anybody just go AWOL in basic training? Like you wake up in the morning and like 4 people just gone?
No, there was a guy. There was a guy that, and this is real serious talk, but there's a guy that went up on the roof. There was a guy that went up on the roof 3 stories and tried to commit self-deletion and jump.
I heard about that too.
I didn't understand it either. Like,
and that was just boot camp.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Like, we had that too. A few people tried to delete themselves. I'm
Well,
like,
this
why?
cut you off. This the reason. The reason I was told that people were doing that just in boot camp because they didn't have a way out. You know what I'm saying? Just to like because you get signed into boot camp, but most people change their mind at the bus, off the bus, and then during the process of it. But
even before getting on the bus, they might run.
Yeah.
Yo, I'll tell you, hey, there was a guy that reads the chart, right? And he's from the Navy, and shout out to the Navy, right? And those that older gentleman, he was retired, and so we meet up at the Marriott. So whatever military branch you were going into, they hook you up for the 1 or 2 days you were going to stay at that Marriott hotel. They'd hook you up with food and everything. They'd always tell you, hey, y'all got to be back by a certain time, and in your rooms, and we're going to knock on your door and check if you're in there. And there was just one dude that he just couldn't take it. And he was gone. He got an Uber or a Lyft or whatever the fuck it was. He left. The dude was like,
on the bus yet?
No.
Jesus.
And see, Marcus, I joined before Uber and Lyft was ever existed. You know, me and Tommy did. So how these guys, you're in the military base, you're in basic training, right? You're in the military base. Where the fuck did he go? Like, I mean, that's what I
He went out.
like,
He went out. Hey,
where did
he
go?
pulled the Chapo.
Like,
he pulled the Chapo, made a tunnel.
Probably so, man. I don't know. I was like, where did they go though? Like
he said every skill he learned before getting it all kicked in.
Let me watch Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I think with ours, you could always just volunteer to leave. I don't think you even had to go AWOL because
that's why I asked, because that's the story. Yeah, that's the stories
I don't know how you could go AWOL.
Yeah, that's the story.
But the thing is that in boot camp, in the boot camp, when you're still a recruit, you're not actually considered a Marine or a Navy sailor or Army Ranger or soldier. You're not considered until you graduate. But if you're in the middle of boot camp and you get, let's say, for example, you get injured, you're in a cycle where you're in the medical platoon. So we're either getting ready to get cleared or go home. And if you're cleared, you go back and jump into a boot camp cycle with a different company. And if not, and you can't get medically treated and cleared, then you get sent home. So it's one of those two if you're medical. Now, if you want to leave, they're going to do something called a general discharge maybe. But sometimes they won't even get that process through the whole way either.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but the thing is, these guys, we go to sleep at night, and I swear, Tommy, you wake up, you're like, somebody missing. You know what I'm saying? and everybody in the bay trying to figure out who's missing. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
shout out to E-Man. Shout out to E-Man.
Right, the guy who bunks with him didn't even know he didn't know buddy's name, and then like fast forward to a couple of weeks later, like 3 more people just disappeared. Like what? Okay, what the fuck's going on? Like we didn't, and so the drill sergeants wasn't telling us nothing. They didn't say these people were missing. They didn't call their names during roll call. Nothing. So it's like, you know, it's nice. Like what? Right, and it's just like so all we know is these jokers just disappearing. So we like, yeah, okay, wait, hold on, that's 4 people now. I know 4 people missing. Drill sergeant, what happened to these people? What people? The people who's missing. Who missing? And see, they message you like that. You know what I'm saying? But these people apparently just went AWOL in the middle of the night.
Enter first 48. Check in first 48.
Now, when you get caught, you go to jail.
Yeah.
Okay, Angela, you go to jail.
Get ready for the break. Get ready for the break.
Yeah, the Army gonna send you to jail, and they're gonna take their sweet time getting you out of there.
Oh wow!
Just giving you your release. They're gonna take their sweet time getting you out of there. So I'm like, hey,
but at that point, you get sectioned off in the Veterans Court, so you could get cleared into the Veterans Court depending on the legal counsel.
He said, "Is it Christmas already?" Shout out to Vaughn. Miss Creative made a comment. She said, sounds like prison. I can understand in one aspect that you might think that, but in my experience and from the stuff that's been told and I hear all the time, it's not. It's pretty much you have. Well, it kind of messes up on the recruiter's part because that's the first thing I hear when it comes to that. Like you gotta vet your recruiters. You know what I'm saying? When they say stuff, hey, even check them because they'll tell you some sweet nothings in one ear, and then when you get there, you looking like, well, he told me. Then you be throwing a recruiter's name out. Well, Recruiter Joe said, like, nah, ain't
who is that?
Joe, huh?
Who is that?
Exactly.
That's the response you get.
Yeah.
That's the response you get.
Or they say, who cares?
Here's what y'all gotta understand though. Like, and if you talk to one of these dudes, you gotta understand. Like, the recruiter's job is not to put you in the best situation. It's just to get you in. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
They have even like what Marcus was saying. That's why I said it was so huge because I got for my job I came out and I qualified as a fucking warehouse worker.
Yeah,
that's literally it. 4 years to become a warehouse worker.
Well, this is like I said,
that's why a lot of combat jobs, a lot of veterans that come out from combat jobs, they go to law enforcement and they go to like other stuff like that.
Yeah, like for me, starting a security company now. Like, I mean, I was downtown. I was all over downtown all yesterday, Angeles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they found out what I did, they're like, Oh, well, here you go. Like before they knew,
Mhm.
I was just some guy walking in asking questions, right? But then when they found out, it was like, oh, okay. Well, here's the paperwork. This is what this does. This is what you sign here. Get this notarized. I mean, the information just. Why didn't you become a cop? I got that question like 5 times yesterday. Why didn't you become a cop? You know what I'm saying? I was
I'm
like,
gonna be honest. I'd rather
but-
like this is my personal experience. I'd rather have trained guys like y'all to actually become officers because
That's what every citizen person says. They all say that, and I believe them.
it just makes sense because like right now to the point that we at now, right? You have guys that's coming out, it's either not all, but you got a lot either got physical injuries like one leg. I'm just exaggerating but it is true. One leg, one foot, one arm, a lot of mental disabilities that y'all guys had named. But some guys just say when they get out, they don't know what to do with themselves. They've been combat trained to the point like this is their life. So it's like, why not put them in them positions that they're happy about? They feel more comfortable. I'm an officer. I'm a high security guard. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy still got high clearance, and that's why he still be able to do these jobs overseas, these contract jobs. So,
yeah, and the thing, like for me, I applied to be a cop once, and they said, "Oh, you got PTSD." I'm like, "How do you know that?" We looked at medical records. Isn't that against HIPAA? Isn't that a HIPAA violation? Not when you're trying to be in law enforcement. It's not. We got to see your medical records. That's it.
Yeah, but see, that becomes a contradiction because now you got those guys. Technically, they got it. They don't even know they got it, but you can look at them and tell they got
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's the difference? I mean, and the thing is, I'm not looking to go bust no heads.
Yeah,
like I'm the officer who's going to be on the road, be on the road, looking at kids getting into stuff. They get into fights. I'll break up the fight. Now you go your way, you go that way.
You can observe better, right? No lie, I had an officer. It was crazy. It's 2 stories, right? I had an officer sleep in his car in the middle of the night because he's overworked. But when somebody just tapped on his window just to try to get his attention, he automatically just went for his weapon to try to draw it out. And I'm like, that's ridiculous.
It is.
No, I was gonna say that's usually from what's it called, Angelus? It's called like a muscle reflex. Yeah. From all the PTSD he had.
But he wasn't a veteran though. He was just a regular Joe.
Well, maybe he just grew up in the hood.
I don't know. I was from the hood. I never do that, and I'm about my hands. I don't really I'll be honest.
No. But there's active gang members do that they kind of feel like that. They're still stressed, and they go through that.
I don't know. But the second one was I remember years ago. I was working midnight from at Dunkin' Donuts, and the windows like all out. So one officer normally came around, and I kept seeing the same black van keep coming by, right? The same every other 5 minutes. And the officer kept like, "Hey, excuse me, officer. I don't know if you're aware, but the same van just keep popping over back and forth like Scooby-Doo." And I was like, "Hey, yeah, you got good eyes." He's like, "I didn't know you didn't notice that." Bro, look at the van. I could tell it's either a cop car or that sucker just like one of them little Pokemon vans trying to lure little kids in at night. You know what I'm saying? How you not notice this? And I'm just a civilian. So I was like, y'all need to do your job better for trying to be invisible. So
AKA sleep on the alley in the dark.
Exactly. All right, but guys, I appreciate y'all. We're gonna wrap this up because again, it's got some time for Mandrill to get his show going on again. Black Men Unfiltered, and Mandrill will be going over there and hosting for Mandrill, Unapologetic Mandrill. All right, that starts at 8:30. That's about an hour from now. So do not forget as you're leaving, hit the likes button. Definitely hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. For tomorrow, I hope we're gonna get an email, see if we can get that going for tomorrow. We're gonna be talking about real estate development, how you get it, how you can maintain it, all that good stuff. If not, we're gonna be taking a break till Saturday because Friday's definitely a break. So Saturday we're gonna have the Great Pill Podcast crew like always, and we have a great conversation. Saturday we are gonna have Nathan Daniels. Let me put my face in there. So
Daniels or Daily?
Daily, excuse me. I apologize.
Okay.
I already put no respect on the name. Nathan Daily, Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. He will be our guest for Saturday.
I'm gonna pull up for that.
Yeah, we're gonna we got multiple conversations, bro. We got some real good conversation because we was emailing back and forth from the back end, and some other extra stuff you tell me about. So maybe that might have a conversation. So we might make this an OT time for Saturday, because this sounds some good conversation. So everybody is more than welcome to come on through. So final thoughts from everybody, ladies and gentlemen. So what you got for me, Mr. Tommy B? And again, appreciate you, Tommy, for coming on through, bro. You're muted, sir.
Tommy, you're muted, Tommy.
Oh, my bad. No, I'm talking to my pops.
Okay. Final thoughts. I'll give you a minute, bro. Take care of your business.
Oh, no, it was just good memories. I think we already kind of said our advice that we would say to people again coming in. I think that's really important. Definitely pay attention to your job and know what it transfers to when you get out, because that is huge. Like that's one thing I wish I knew before I went in, because I think my ASVAB score, I want to say I was in the 80s, so I could have got a pretty good job. But they offered me $4,000, and I was my broke ass was like, shit, let me get that. So that'll probably be my most important thing, is just make sure you know that job, and then and of course, like we said, and then go to the doctor for everything.
Yeah, while you're inside.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, while you're in.
I appreciate you. What you got for us, Mandrell?
Yeah, just make sure if you're going to join the military, if you're not going to do anything in combat arms, make sure you get a job that you can do on the outside. For instance, to me, Special Forces, I didn't know how many doors were open to me until I was getting ready to get out. You know what I mean? Because they don't really tell you anything. They just figure, well, you're trained enough. He'll be all right. That's the way they look at us. Yeah, he's well trained. He'll be okay. And watch your recruiter. Watch the double talk. And no matter what job you choose while you're in, just have fun with it. It's just treat it like anything else. You're going to have good days and bad days.
Okay. Respect. Mr. Marcus.
Yeah, no, I just appreciate it, man. Thank you for having us. Grateful to be here. Grateful to talk with a bunch of you guys. And shout out to the Great Pill Podcast. Shout out to Mandrill on Unapologetic on Wednesdays, 8:30 Central Time on Black Men Unfiltered Network. Make sure you guys hit the link, like, share, and subscribe to both those channels. Also, make sure to hit the link, like, share, and subscribe to Convo and Chill with Tommy B. And shout out to everybody that was here showing support.
Yeah, man, I definitely appreciate it, bro. And like I said, I can't say this, with the bottom of my heart, because I ain't gonna lie, Tommy. I was a punk in high school. I did everything. I'll fight you in the streets. I'll catch you. I'll do anything else. But you would never catch me in the service, bro. I did RTC. I did it all. And they
no, bro. Listen to me, bro. Listen to me. When I said that, it had nothing to do with people joining or not. What I'm talking about is these dudes that pump their chest out nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially when Trump won, and especially with Kaepernick.
Talking about the Proud Boys.
Talk all of this shit, and then my first question is, "Are you a vet?" Oh no. This happened, or oh this happened. Like, I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Like, when they needed you to be like that, you was pussy.
Yeah.
And that's the only people I'm talking to. I ain't talking to. Again, I didn't join for all of that.
Yeah.
So I'm not holding nobody to that. One thing with me is I'm gonna hold you to your to your to what you believe in, not to what I believe in. So if you coming at me with all this, America this, America that, this, that, and the other, then you should have been a veteran.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I'm an American, goddammit, Tommy. You don't know nothing.
Yeah, you know what? He's absolutely right. Because he was on, he used to tell me these stories about his mindset was, I'm going there, like you said, I'm going to try to go get something, get as much as I can, and then I'm out. He treated it like a business. He's still in there. I'm treating it like a business, right? Free education, free scholarship. Like you said, that when you got that college, you had the tuition. Hey, let me get this knocked off instantly, as fast as I can. So that was his whole main goal. His whole main goal was coming in like, hey, my country, my this, my that. No, let me do what I need to do and get out safe, all 10 fingers and toes, and I can keep it pushing. That's his whole mentality. Still is now, because he's debating. He got like about 2.5 more years. So he's like, should he either finish the last 3 or should he re-enlist again? So that's where he at. But again, like I said, and I know my limits. I'm not gonna tell you what I can do. I'm not gonna tell you. I know if I look at Mandrill, I'm gonna say, yeah, I could take Mandrill. No, me, I'll be back, Mandrill.
Like Tommy said, you put on all this muscle just to get hit with this 40.
Exactly. I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? Too old for that, bro. I ain't gonna try to argue with nobody. Like, nah. If you got hands, hey, do you, bro? But I know what I can and can't do, so I know my limits. So, and I appreciate everybody for taking the time out. Again, I cannot say this like, you know, even though y'all did it for yourself, whether you did it for the country, whether just the fact is you did it because nobody else didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. So, and I respect the fact that I did do it. I appreciate the conversation on the back end that we have all the time. And a special shout out for Marcus and shout out to Cannon Ann because this conversation kind of flourished up to have this topic. You know what I'm saying? And I want this topic to have so we can have these conversations. So I appreciate y'all guys. Again, fellas, the viewers out there, hit that subscribe button, hit the likes as you're coming in, coming out. And just to give a special shout out to We Ain't Signing. He gave us a little farewell for this one, and we're going to leave it like that.
大家好，你们现在听那个 Great Pill Podcast， 每个星期二还有没有星期日，你可以过来听那个Great Pill Podcast， 欢迎光临，可以拿你的饮料还有小吃的，听一下，谢谢。That's
All right, and I'll catch y'all Saturday. And
you should have heard freaking Vaughn. I was waiting for Vaughn to say I heard 2 N-words.
Again, I catch y'all Saturday, guys. Check for the notifications for we may and will not be talking about the real estate discussion for tomorrow, this Thursday. So I appreciate you all. Thank y'all.